देखो बच्चे, because I checked the latest books also, and I found that the remainder theorem is not there. It's only the factor theorem that's there. But never mind, there is not much difference in factor theorem and remainder theorem. Okay. So I'll explain you factor theorem, and in that only remainder theorem will also come. They both are the same only.
Okay, ma'am.
So I'll explain you, although I had explained you remainder theorem yesterday also. So today also you will get to know. Okay, let's begin. I'm sharing the screen. Okay, so this was the remainder theorem that we were doing yesterday, right? Okay, now coming to factor theorem. See now, to explain you this, I said if a polynomial, if px is some polynomial, okay, if px is some polynomial and I divide this polynomial by some other polynomial, and that polynomial is x minus a, okay, I have this polynomial px and I divide this polynomial with another polynomial x minus a, I get the remainder as p of a. Okay, I get the remainder as p of a. You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand this? That means whatever I get the remainder, that remainder can be written in the form of p of a. What is a? A is the same number which is here. No?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
a
so
small
it can
doubt.
be any real number.
It can be a, can be any real number. Okay.
Ma'am, even it can be irrational number also.
Not irrational, but it's at least real numbers तो है ना? Okay. हाँ.
Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, how is it? Means how can it be expressed as the following formula? We wrote px by
when we'll do
x
sums, when we will do the sums, it will be more clear. For now, you just understand the statement of this theorem. Okay. When a polynomial is divided by another polynomial, we get some remainder which is written in the form of p of a. This is what the remainder theorem tells us. Okay. We get some remainder. Okay, not necessarily 0 only. We get, when I divide 5 by 2, I get the remainder like this. I get the remainder by 1. Okay, so that means here this 5 is px, this 2 is x minus a, and this 1 is p of a. Are you getting? Are you understanding? Now coming to factor theorem. Factor theorem is also the same as this one. A very minute difference is there. Now what is a factor first? To know about factor theorem, we should know about the word factor first. Factor is something which when you divide it by a number, the remainder is always 0. Isn't that? Isn't that? That means if I divide 4 by 2, I get my remainder 0. Is it? So I can say that 2 is a factor of 4. Can I say that?
Yes, ma'am.
So same way, if I divide any number with any other number, I get the remainder 0. That means I say that the number is a factor of its dividend. Okay, no? This is what this example tells us. Now same way, what factor theorem tells us? What factor theorem tells us that if px is some polynomial, okay, and if we divide this px polynomial with another polynomial x minus a, I get the remainder 0. Okay, I get the remainder 0. That means x minus a is a factor of px. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
Understood? Everyone
Yes,
understood this? The only difference between the remainder theorem and factor theorem is the remainder part only. Okay, in remainder theorem we get some remainder. In factor theorem we get 0 as a remainder. Okay, which tells us that x minus a is a factor of px. Okay,
Okay.
Right? I hope you all have understood. If anyone has a doubt, can ask. Now, the same is true if we say vice versa also. Vice versa means that if we can say P of A is 0 if x minus A is a factor of this polynomial. We get P of A as 0 if x minus A is a factor of Px. Okay? This is the converse of this. Are you getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the factor theorem. Now, how can we apply this in our questions? Now, when we do questions, you will get to know that without dividing like this, how do we, using this factor theorem, how do we say that this number is a factor of this? Okay? Without actually dividing, how can we say that the below polynomial, this one, x minus A, is a factor of the bigger polynomial? Okay? So that's just by using this method. Now we'll see how to do the sums. Now coming to exercise 2.4, let's see the sums based on this. Okay, exercise 2.4. The first question says, determine which of the following polynomials has x plus 1 as factor. Okay, the question says, determine which of the following following means there are four polynomial equations are given and one by one you have to try all. So which of the following polynomials has x plus 1 a factor? Now x plus 1 a factor. Now we can write this x plus 1 as x minus A. We can write it like this. Now see, look here. X plus 1. Now this is some polynomial given to us. To find the value of x in this polynomial, what do we say? This x is actually the same as x minus A. Okay. So what can we say? How can we find the value of x from here? X becomes minus 1 when it goes on the other side. Right? When we are given this factor polynomial, this one, so what do? We take the value of x from this polynomial and then the polynomial equation which is given to us. Let's take the first one. Okay, I'm taking the first polynomial equation. That is x cube plus x square plus x plus 1. Okay. So now I will put this value of x in this equation, p of minus 1. In place of x, I have put this value of x. Okay. Are you getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
So in
Yes.
place of x, I write minus 1. Wherever I have x, I will write minus 1 there. Minus 1 cube plus minus 1 square plus minus 1 plus 1. So minus 1 cube is minus 1 only. Minus 1 square is plus 1. Then I have minus 1, then plus 1. So what do I have? Minus 1 cancels.
0.
Minus 1 cancels. So that means 0. So I can say that minus 1 is a 0 of this polynomial. And hence I can say that x plus 1 is a factor of this polynomial. Isn't that?
Yes, ma'am.
So I can say thus minus 1 is a 0 of polynomial Px. Hence x plus 1 is a factor of Px. Okay. Now, since this equation has come 0 here, it has satisfied that P of minus 1 is 0. Okay, that means we can say x minus 1 is x plus 1 is a factor of the polynomial. Understood this, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, in this we have 4 polynomials equations given to us. So one by one, we will try for each one of them. Okay. But this thing is given common for everyone, isn't that? Determine which of the following polynomials has x plus 1 as a factor. And we are given 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, like this 4. So first one we have done, this one. Okay. Now let's see some other one. But this part we do not we don't have to change again because this is common for everyone. All right. Now let's see some other one. Let's do the fourth one. I'll show you the fourth one. I'll do the 2 and the remaining ones you will try as a homework. Okay. Okay, dear.
Yeah, ma'am.
So here in this case, I'm given the polynomial equation as Px equals to x cube minus x square minus 2 plus root over 2. Outside the bracket, there is x plus root over 2. Okay. So now my x is minus 1. I have already got here. I have already seen here. X is equal to minus 1. Okay, so I will not write it again. For just for you, I am writing here x plus 1 equals to 0. Hence, x is equal to minus 1. Okay. So minus 1, p of minus 1 will be minus 1 cube minus 1 square minus 2 plus root over 2 minus 1 plus root over 2. Like this. So minus 1 cube will be minus 1. Then this will be minus and this will be 1. Then minus I have, now you can see I have minus and minus signs are there. 2 minus signs are there, isn't it? Yes, children? I have minus sign here also, minus sign here also. So please pay attention.
Okay, ma'am.
Minus and minus becomes plus. So I will write plus here. And I have 2 plus root over 2 here. Okay, then plus root over 2. Okay, so minus 1 becomes minus 2. Why is this disturbance? Please mute for some time. 2.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Once again, yes, ask.
Ma'am, there is minus outside the brackets of 2 plus square root 2, right? Then it will go as a distributive.
हाँ, so वही तो किया हमने.
Ma'am, so minus 2 minus square root 2.
Look here.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Look here. I'll explain. Okay, ठीक है? We just take the whole of this inside the bracket, right? This is like this. So minus 1 into 2 becomes minus 2. Minus 1 into root over 2, this becomes minus root over 2, is it? And now again there is a minus sign outside. So minus into minus becomes plus 2. Minus into minus becomes plus 2. Okay? Yes,
Okay,
understood, Harshit?
Yeah, ma'am.
So I have written it like this. Okay. So here minus 2 and plus 2 gets cancelled. And we are just left with 2 root over 2. And here I can observe that this polynomial equation is not equal to 0. And thus I can say that minus 1 is not a 0 of the polynomial equation. And hence x plus 1 is not a factor of px. Okay? Okay? Same way.
Yes.
Thus, I can say p of, I can say minus 1 is x equals to minus 1 is not a 0 of px. Hence, x plus 1 is not a factor of px. Okay, I hope you have understood this, children. Have all understood this? Please say something. Class 9.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I have shown you with 2 examples from the exercise. The remaining 2 are there. Okay. So I would like you to try the remaining two. Can you try one of them now? Try yourself now. Okay, I'm giving you the second one. Do it. X plus 4 plus x cubed plus x squared plus x plus 1. Just check out for this. Okay. Do it. Do it. Everyone do it.
Ma'am, it's not a factor of this polynomial, ma'am.
Yes, it's not a factor of the x plus 1 is not a factor of this polynomial.
Ma'am, because we are getting 1.
Huh. Okay. Are all getting the same? Children, are you all getting the same? Now see here, if without actually dividing, we have found the factors. We have found that x plus 1 is a factor or x plus 1 is not a factor. Isn't that how it is applied in the question?
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, how would we do the multiplication, the division of polynomials? Have you done? How do you divide the polynomials? Okay, we'll do that also. Okay, so moving ahead. I hope all have got their answers. Yes, children. Pranav, Jitendra, Akshara. Have you all done? Sampath, Harshit. Hello. Hello, can you hear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So say something, why taking, even if you don't want to say, just show thumbs up or something, some response to do. Okay, now see question number 2. Use the factor theorem to determine whether gx is a factor of px. Now you have to just verify whether using factor theorem. You have to verify that the polynomial gx is a factor of px. Right? Now let's see what kind of questions are we given. Okay, from here I'll just take one question. I'm taking here from here, part 2. Should I write the question here? This is to show gx is a factor of px. Okay, using factor theorem. अब factor theorem से हम कैसे दिखाते हैं? What is the method to show from the factor theorem? That a value of the polynomial should, when we divide px with this gx, when we divide px by gx, our remainder should be 0. This is what the factor theorem says, no? Then only we can say gx is a factor of px. So we'll do that. Let's take them, taking the second part here. Here we have 3 parts. I'm taking the second one. The remaining ones I would like you to try. X cube plus 3x square plus 3x plus 1, and gx is given to be x plus 2. Right? Now here gx is given as x plus 2. So x plus 2 means what will be the value of x from here? minus 2. Okay. Now I will take this value of x and I will try for my polynomial. So P of 2 can give me minus 2 cube plus 3 minus 2 square. Then we have plus 3 minus 2 plus 1. Okay. So what do we get? Minus 2 raised to power 3. That's minus 8. Then we have plus, this becomes 4 into 3. That's 12. Then minus 6 plus 1. Now what do I get? 12 plus 1
Ma'am,
is 13. Yes.
ma'am, it will not be a polynomial. It's not a factor.
It's not a factor because we are not getting the remainder as 0. Okay, so P of minus 2 is 1. So that means this implies that Gx is not a factor of Px. Okay. Okay. Now you try this one. I'm taking the third part. This question is for you now. Everyone, do it now. X cubed minus 4x squared plus x plus 6. This is a polynomial given to you. And gx is given as x minus 3. Okay. X minus 3. Do it. Is everyone doing?
Ma'am, here also gx is not a factor of px.
Okay, not a factor. Sure.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Check करें.
Ma'am, I'll check again.
X minus 3 equals to 0. That means x is 3. So in P of 3, we will put this 3 cube minus 4 into 3 square plus 3 plus 6. So 3 cube is 3 3s are 9, 9 3s is 27, minus 3 3s is 9, 4s are 36, plus 3 plus 6. So let's.
Ma'am, it is a factor, ma'am. It is a factor.
Is a factor. Okay, so we have 9 and this is 27. So that's 16, 36, 36 minus 36. So that's 0. That means P of 3 is equal to 0. This implies Gx is a factor. Okay, children? I hope you all have understood this. It's same like a previous question.
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
And the remaining parts, children, you will be taking as a homework, okay?
Okay.
See here,
Okay.
I have solved some questions. I have given you also to try. There's still some remaining parts are there that you will do as a homework and you will complete this exercise. So for your homework, you will have examples before this exercise. Whatever examples are given before this exercise, that you will do. Okay, and this exercise is which one? 2.4. Exercise 2.4. Whatever questions are remaining here, the leftover ones you will do. This will be your homework for today. You can note down homework.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Now see question number 3. Let's see what kind of questions are given in this part. Find the value of k. Now here we have some constant k given. We have to find the value of k. Find the value of k. K if x minus 1 is a factor of px. Now it is given that x minus 1 is a factor. ये हमें उन्होंने पहले
Ma'am?
से ही बोला है. Yes.
Ma'am, in the new textbook, it is exercise 2.3. Can we do that?
This is exercise 2.3. So do that
Yes,
2.3.
ma'am.
So do with 2.3. That's okay. Say similar questions are there.
Yeah, ma'am.
So do that. Actually, in my book, it's 2.4, no? Okay, never mind. But you have to do the questions which are based on factor theorem. Okay. Now see, the polynomial equation that is given to us is px equals to x square plus x plus k. This is the polynomial equation given. In this, we have to find this value of k. And we are already given that x minus 1 is a factor of x minus 1 is a factor of this polynomial. That means if I put p of 1, I get my answer as 0. It is already a factor. So do you think that if I just put this, I know this is p of 1. If I take this as p of 1, I take it as 1 square plus 1 plus k equals to 0. So I can get my value of k from here. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so k becomes
minus 2.
minus 2. So value of k is minus 2 here. Okay. Let's try another one here. I'm trying the fourth one here. Px is given to be kx square minus 3x plus k. Okay. Now x minus 1 is a factor. We are already given, that means our x is equal to 1. So in place of this, I will put 1 here. So I get k into 1 square minus 3 into 1 plus k, that's equal to 0. So I get k and minus 3 plus k equals to 0. Right? This is what I'm getting. Okay, so here let's roll up. Okay, so this becomes k plus k becomes 2k. And 3, when it goes on the other side, it becomes positive 3. So here, from here, we can get a value for k. K is equal to 3 by 2. Right, children?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now you have 2 parts which are left. So those 2 parts you will do later on as a homework. Now next one is factorize. This is the same kind of factorize that you have studied in your class 8 also, factorization chapter. Right? Splitting the middle term and all. So let's take the first one in this case. That's 12x square minus 7x plus 1. So I have to find those factors such, you know this quadratic equation ax square plus bx, general form of quadratic equation is this. Is it? So what do we have here? The middle term is always the sum of zeros. Is that? Middle term is always the sum of zeros and the last term is the product of zeros. Isn't that?
Yes,
How do
ma'am.
you find? The sum of zeros alpha beta is minus b by a and alpha into beta is c upon a. You remember this? You remember this? You had done
Ma'am,
in
actually, this was not taught in my
Ma'am,
school.
yes, ma'am, we didn't.
you did not. You
Ma'am,
No,
we
didn't.
ma'am,
don't
we
know
didn't
what
learn
is
this.
alpha, beta, and we don't know
Alpha
about.
beta is just the zeros of this polynomial. What it is saying is the sum of the zeros of the polynomial is minus b by a and this is alpha beta. So anyways, if you have not studied this, have you studied about the splitting the middle term?
Ma'am, I have studied it.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am, I have studied it.
you have studied, no? So same thing we will do here. Right? Splitting the middle term. Okay. Now see, we want those factors whose sum is -7 and whose product is 12 into 1, 12, whose product is 12 into 1, that is this multiplied by this, 12 into 1, that is 12, and whose sum is -7. So we want those type of numbers. क्या कौन से हो सकते हैं वो numbers? Can you think of those numbers? If I take 3 and 4, so 3
4.
4 gives me 12. But I have some minus sign also here. That means one of this number has to be negative. Okay?
Ma'am, why can't we take
One.
both as negative?
Yes, we have to take both as negative because product is positive. So if we multiply -3 into -4, we will get 12 positive. And if we add both of them, we will get -7. So that means -3 and -4 are the factors. Okay, so let's do here. We will split the middle term to -3 and -4x plus 1. And we will group them like this. Then we'll take the common ones out. 3x is here. We are left with 4 inside and 1x. And here we have -1. Here also we have 4x. I just take the minus sign out. Here I'm left with 4x and minus. Since this is plus, I will put minus here because minus into minus will give plus only. Okay. And here it is -1. So that becomes, so out of this, I'll take the common one out, 4x minus 1. 4x minus 1 is common here. I'll just write 4x minus 1 and whatever is left is written like this. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the factorization. We have found the factors. This much is asked. If we suppose if we are asked to find the values of x, then what we would do is you will just equate this with 0 and find your value for x if we are asked. But in this question, we are not asked. We are just asked to find the factors. Okay. So this is a factor of this polynomial. This is a factor of this polynomial. I hope you have understood.
Yes, ma'am.
This is nothing new. Similar type of questions you have done in your junior class factorization chapter, class 8. Okay, let's take another one from this question only. 3x square minus x minus 4. Okay. Now let's do this. This is 4x, I guess. Is it? कैसा है ये? ऐसे नहीं. Okay, this one. Okay, so now what will you do? Again, you will split the middle part. Okay, so your product should be -12 and your sum should be -1. Product should be -12 and your sum should be -1. Okay, so what will you think of the numbers? 4 into 3 gives me 12. Okay, if I have product as minus means one of the number has to be minus. And if I have -1 as a sum, so that means 3 minus 4 will give me -1. No? And -4 into 3 will give me -12. So that means our numbers, our factors are -4 and 3.
Ma'am, the answer would be x plus 1 into 3x minus 4.
Okay, good. Okay, so we have this here. So whatever common is there, I'll take out. So I can just take out x from here. So I have 3x minus 4 here. And here nothing can be taken out. So that's 1. And this is 3x minus 4, which is equal to 3x minus 4 into x plus 1 is left. So these are the factors of this polynomial equation. Okay? Okay, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so today's class is still here. It's time up now. Okay, so till question number 4, we will try all the parts. Okay, then the last question number 5, we will do tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but in the next class. Right? On Wednesday.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Bye, children.
Bye,
And
ma'am.
please do the homework also. Thank you. Bye-bye.